Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. Hi, I'm Karen Mashers, and today we're going to be cooking with some spices and going to visit the Middle East. We are having chicken tagine, and we're going to cook couscous with that. Now, couscous is a North African wheat product. It's a staple there and used in a lot of European cooking. We're also going to do a Mediterranean rice pudding for dessert and an Arabic salad on the side. So let's get started. Okay, I'm just thinly slicing onion, and I've chosen to use Vidalia onion on this. I want the little bit of sweetness that a Vidalia offers. Okay, now what we're going to do is peel some ginger before I start my pot. And we're going to use 3 tablespoons of minced ginger. And if you like the flavor of ginger and want to add a little bit more, don't be afraid to go for it. Okay. All I'm going to do is slice this thin. Okay, let's start our pot. All right. Want this on medium high, and we're going to put in about a tablespoon of olive oil. Let that start to get warm. I'm going to take our ginger. Let's throw that in. Very aromatic dish. Absolutely delicious. Alright, let me grab my onion. I'm just going to put this down right here. Grab a wooden instrument here. And I'm going to separate these onions. Alright, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Let's cover that and let it cook for about 10 minutes. Alright, while that's cooking, let me start with my chicken. Okay, I have used 6 thighs, and I have taken the skin off of them and a fair amount of the fat. You can do this with chicken breasts if you'd like. Add a couple of thighs in there or a couple of legs so it gives it a little bit more flavor. Alright, we're going to start with some salt. And let's use some pepper. I'm going to do that again. This is one of those great one-pot meals. Okay. Now we're going to put this in our pot in just a few minutes. I'm going to slide it right over here. Wash my fingers. Let's stir that around a minute again. And oh, it's coming along. Not quite there yet though. Okay. Couscous. Let's turn my pot on. I've got about 2 cups of water in this pot, and I'm going to make some couscous. And as you can see, it comes in different flavors. There's a roasted garlic and olive oil, a toasted pine nut, and this is just an original. And I want to use the original today. It's a wheat product that's like semolina. It comes from North Africa. It's a staple there for many, many years. It's served like a rice product, it's cooked like a rice product, and it's going to be a great addition to our meal. Okay, my water's boiling. I'm going to do just a couple little things. I'm going to put a hair, drops of some olive oil in. Let's grab some salt, and I'm going to pour the whole box in and give it a stir. This is how easy this is. Give it a stir and take it right off the heat. We're just going to wait 5 minutes and it should be all ready. We can fluff it then, and after we fluff it, what we'll do is keep it warm until we're ready to use it. All right, let me grab this second. All right. The smell is great. We're going to throw in the garlic now. Okay, that's going to cook another 2 minutes. While that's cooking, I'm going to slice my lemon. And let me get a different knife. Big knife for a little lemon. Alright, what I want to do is I'm just going to cut the top off the lemon, and I'm going to cut some very, very thin slices. I want about half of the lemon cut. Alright, now we're going to take and juice the other half. And if you have a garbage disposal, that's one of the best things to go down it. Okay, let's take a look back in our pot. Okay, I think it's safe to start adding some things now. We're going to take about 2 cups of water, and you might need a little bit more. Just get that right in the pot. Alright, now it's time for all the spices of that region. I've got some paprika, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, coriander, turmeric, and cumin. I think cumin's a favorite spice of all cultures. You can see the color that this has changed into already. It's that beautiful rust, and it smells absolutely wonderful. And turn that up just a touch, and we're going to put in our tomatoes. That's diced and they were canned. If you want to use regulars, that's good too. I've got garbanzo beans, and they have been rinsed and drained. And let's see if I can clean this up just a touch. I'm going to cut my artichoke hearts, and these are canned artichoke hearts, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut those in half. And we're going to pop those right in with the rest of our veggies. Okay. These are going to go in, and we're going to let this cook for just a few minutes. Lemons in. and lemon juice. Need about 2 tablespoons. Okay, let's cover that back up. Let it cook for another few minutes. And let me tell you about a tagine. A tagine is a cooking vessel used in North African and different Mediterranean locations to cook in the ovens. And it's made of clay. This dish is made to go in this, and we're going to transfer it here in a few minutes. But if you don't have a tagine, you can leave it right in your pot. So you don't have to dirty another dish, and you don't have to go out and buy anything special. Okay, that's been cooking for about a minute. Now it's time to add our cilantro. And you can add this cilantro stems and all, no problems. Okay, we're going to do about half a cup. So let's see if that's what I've got. Just about perfect. Okay. Okay, we're going to turn it all the way down to low so it just simmers. It's got to simmer about 10 minutes. Let's take another quick look. Okay, it's time for the chicken. So let me put that right there. Grab the chicken and get me some tongs here. And we're just going to put this right on top right now. Get that down just a little bit. Alright, 2 more little ingredients to go in just a moment. And we're on the way. This has got to cook down for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to cover it back up. And we'll just have to wait for a few. Okay, this pot is bubbling. And it's ready for the last ingredients. The first thing we're going to put in is carrots. And we've cut these carrots up about 2-inch pieces. And we're just going to throw those in. And get them under the juice. Now, it's going to take a little bit more than it has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this up with water. And add just a little bit more water to the stock, because we want to be able to cover these vegetables. And now it's time for the green beans. We've got about 2-inch pieces. Just snapped in 2. And we're going to stir them in. This is going to cook for about 30 minutes on low, and this is the time that we'd put this meal in the Tagine if that's where we wanted to go with it, and bake it for an hour. We're going to leave this on the stove for 30 minutes and everything should be ready. I'm going to start cleaning up, get my mess fixed. We're going to come back and do Middle Eastern rice pudding.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
Hi, welcome back to the Coastal Kitchen. We're going to make some Middle Eastern rice pudding. So I've already got the water started for my rice. We're going to throw a cup of white rice into 2 cups of water. Just going to stir it around a second, bring it back to a boil, and then I'm going to let it set for about 15 minutes on simmer. Okay, 15 minutes and our rice is done. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to slowly pour in 3 cups of milk, and I'm going to stir constantly. Okay, now this is going to take about 15 more minutes to thicken up, and we're going to stir this constantly. I have been stirring and stirring and stirring, and we're just at about to our next stage. You can tell that the milk is starting to coat the back of the spoon and hold on to the wood. I'm letting it boil just a touch, and it's time to add my sugar, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And you'll notice that sometimes when you add the sugar, it will bubble up a little bit, froth up, and don't worry about it, just keep stirring. Okay, now it's time for golden raisins. If you don't have golden raisins, use your regular everyday raisins. And now we've got about another 15 minutes for this to thicken up, and then we're going to pour them into special ramekins or the dish of your choice. I'm going to give you a few options while that's going. I'm going to regular ramekin. I've got a large one that you might think of creme brulee in, but I put rice pudding in this also. And then here's an individual dish. You could put this in a great big bowl, family style. But we're going to keep watching this, keep stirring. It's worth it, I promise you. All right, looks like we're just about ready. I'm going to turn this off and take a good look. Looks wonderful. Need it off the heat before I add my orange blossom water. And you can find orange blossom water at specialty shops, better grocery stores, and we're going to put in a tablespoon. And now I'm just going to stir with a spoon. We want all the richness of that orange flavor. All right, last step. Let's grab a ladle. You can see all those wonderful raisins in there. just whatever type of serving that you'd like to make. Let's grab this one. I think I've got just about enough for another one over here. Now these are going to cool at room temperature. You can put them in the refrigerator, serve them cold. I like to serve them with a little bit of warm milk over the top, or you can serve them after they've cooled a little bit. Now the last step is to sprinkle a little pungent cinnamon over the top. Just want that nice cinnamon flavor. Okay, we're just about finished with our rice pudding. All in, all done. We're going to have a word from our sponsor and come back and we'll do our Arabic salad.
The Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Charlotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
Welcome back. We're going to start making our Arabic salad. Now this is a salad with cucumbers, onion, and tomato, and a wonderful dressing that is lemon juice, olive oil, salt, pepper. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to segment the 1/2 of this lemon . I'm going to make sure all the pith is out. What I want is I want a little bit of the meat of the fruit. So the pulp is what I'm after, but no membrane. And now I'm just going to squeeze this juice right into this little tiny bowl here. Okay. Now this takes just a minute, but we're going to cut out the membrane and pull the meat away from the membrane. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this right out here on my cutting board and make sure I've got all the membrane out. And let's just give it a little bit of a chop here. Okay, this is going to go in my big bowl. Now I've got to measure out 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So let me see if I can get one out of this. Almost. All right, let's go for number 2. And I've got to make up just a little for the other one. Okay, now what I want to do is mix in my olive oil, and I'm going to start whisking. Okay, nice whisk. Now we're going to put 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and we're going to put 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, and more whisking. Okay, we're going to keep whisking this, and this is so simple yet so tasty. All right, let's just put that aside for a second. Now I've got a little bit more tomato to cut. I'm just going to cut another 1/2 here, and I'm just taking the core out, and I'm going to cut this in wedges. And let's just cut this in 3s. Leave the seeds in and all. It's great. Okay, tomatoes done. And I've got some cucumbers that I've been working on. And this is an English cucumber that I have used, and I'm not going to seed it. If you use a regular cucumber, you might want to take the seeds out first. And I'm just going to make it into nice little bite-sized type pieces. Put that in. And I've got some fresh spinach. And all I'm going to do with this spinach is give it a couple of chops because I want it to hold its shape, but I don't want it to be quite as big as the full leaf. Okay, spinach is going to go in first. And I'm just going to swirl that around. Then my cucumbers. Want some purple onion, so I'm going to put in about a half of a large purple onion. And now it's time for tomatoes. So the tomatoes all go in, and I'm going to grab a spoon real fast, and we're just going to toss. Okay, our last ingredient, mint. Fresh mint. And what I want is a nice handful of fresh mint. And I'm going to start cutting up. Just nice chop. Want little bits. The fresh mint makes this salad. It's almost like the breath of spring that we all like to have, and here we are getting ready to go into winter. All right, now let me grab my parsley because we want some parsley in there too, about a cup. So all this is going to be squeezed together, and I'm going to start making small cuts. As thin as I can make it, because I want this very, very fine. Okay, chopped and ready to go in too. So we're almost there with our salad. And I want to keep this in a smaller bowl because I want all that dressing of the lemon juice to soak in and not be dispersed on a large scale. Okay, Arabic salad needs to go into the fridge, needs to get all those flavors together. You might want to taste it, add a little bit more salt and pepper. We'll be back in just a few minutes to do our assembly work and put together our chicken tagine, our creamy rice pudding, and we're going to add our Arabic salad. See you in a minute.
When you start with local produce, add some homegrown Carolina pride, and mix it all with a commitment to family, you get more than a locally based grocery store. You get the taste of home. Lowe's Foods. Lowe's Foods, proud sponsor of the Coastal Kitchen and ATM CTV.
Welcome back. We've got our wonderful meal laid out. This is a treat. The smells are absolutely phenomenal. We have the tagine chicken, an Arabic salad, a Middle Eastern creamy rice pudding, and some bread on the side. The last thing I need to do is put just a little mint on the top. Mint's used in a whole lot of European cooking. So I hope you've had as much fun as I have. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for the Coastal Kitchen. We'll see you next time, and I hope I've got something absolutely phenomenal for you.